So some of you may not be aware that the minimum retirement age of 60 was actually legislated only 30 years ago in 1993. So that was probably when the journey that got us here today seriously started. Now today the retirement age has been raised to 63 years old, and we also require employers to re-employ their workers up to 68 years old. How did our retirement policies evolve over the last 3 decades? And what did it take for us to get to where we are today? The journey has not been an easy one, and it required compromises among tripartite partners. But this was possible because we share a common long-term vision. And at every point, the tripartite partners were added together, from policy design, from program development, and eventually to stakeholder engagement, based on our strong history of tripartite collaboration. Perhaps now, it is an opportunity for tripartite partners in Singapore to develop our own innovative solutions. Our decades of working closely to tackle this issue with tripartism as a secret ingredient, a secret sauce, give me confidence that we will overcome these challenges so long as we continue to stick together.
This afternoon actually holds a special significance as we gather to commemorate and to reflect the key milestones in Singapore's retirement and re-employment policy in the past 30 years. Aging population and falling fertility had a direct outcome that is a lead to a shrinking workforce. Michael Herman had a different view that demography is not destiny and can be shaped by policies. This is evident in the Singapore's experience as tripartism as a fire came out to deal and tackle with the issue of shrinking workforce. We have an opportunity to hear this directly from the tripartite partners who have played key roles as Singapore navigates its retirement and re-employment policies amidst demographic shift and economic challenges.
Tripartite partners always disagree. I think it's naturally so because all of us has got very, very different interests. But most important, come to a conclusion that is win-win-win for everybody. We will try to make sure that we win because we have one common objective, how to make sure Singapore has got a stronger economy, a sustainable workforce going forward.
In every policy or every move they want to make, it's actually like a medication, you know. Somebody won't benefit. There will be other people who benefit from that medication, and some people will get a side effect from it. Some policies are more painful than others. This is where government comes in to say, well, if the pain is too much, can we support with some grants? Can we maybe pace out the implementation a little bit? And that's the kind of thing that the tripartite partners go through. A little bit of discussion, seeing the pros and cons, the side effect versus the good effects, and then deciding that what is the longer term aim we want to go to. We want to survive together and thrive and get better.
What is important, what is relevant in that situation, as in many situations, it's actually the performance. And if the performance is good, then age is not relevant.
From Singapore, we are fortunate to have the top leadership telling us, cajoling us about what training and development is all about, what skilling and reskilling is all about. And it is imperative for leaders in the organization to continue with that conversation. The CTC encourages both the workers as well as the supervisors to come together for a solution. And through that, the workers are now a lot enlightened on what are the things to relook and look at and see how we can actually make greater improvements from that perspective.
The mindset problem is one of disbelief. It's quite useful to bring people on the learning journey. Help them see that it's possible elsewhere. By showing people the possibility, both employers and employees can actually start to see possibilities and not just obstacles.
Our statutory retirement age, it is actually designed to provide a safety net so that any company that retires an employee by setting a company policy that retires its employees below the statutory retirement age would be not complying with the law. Okay, but it doesn't say that if a company chooses to employ a person above the statutory retirement age that the company has done anything illegal. Far from it, it gets an incentive. So ours is really like a valve. It protects one way, but actually it frees the other way.
It is meant to be flexible, so it's acceptable, but it allows both parties to negotiate what exactly the person is required to do in terms of scope, volume of work, and duration. There's no one size fits all here. It's really about the individual and the company's need for the worker. It's the devotion of time and effort to actually build the relationship together through thick and thin. Singapore, by DNA, is a very open economy. We've always been pro-business. But to have a government that is pro-business and pro-worker at the same time is very difficult. But because this government started with the roots in the union, we are able to bring the union along and be pro-worker and pro-business at the same time. A new government that has no relationship with the unions and the workers and the relationship, tripartite relationship with the employers. Can tripartism still survive? What would be the signal you send to the greater economy? That is a thought experiment. It's something worth thinking about actually. Because this tripartism that we keep saying about has a deep reservoir of trust and mutual benefit that's built up over years of negotiation, even through strikes and hard-earned table banging.
Because many things will be unknown or it could be uncertain, right? So therefore, what I want to urge my fellow older workers or senior workers is don't be afraid. Have belief in yourself. Be prepared to adapt. You can adapt more than you think you can. And make use of the opportunities that the tripartite partners will be putting together for you.
Of course, it requires mindset change, as we said, in both employers and the senior workers. And mindset change can take time. But I think our older workers here in Singapore should have confidence that with the tripartite partners being aligned in the objective to actually upskill, reskill and extend the career longevity of our older workers, and the government putting in significant resources to reshape the social compact, it shows the determination of the government and the tripartite partners to actually give you the best shot at actually achieving your aspirations. We may be aging, but if we get our act together, our best years are ahead of us. But it requires all of us now to change our mindset and be prepared to put in the hard work, both as companies and as workers, and the government will be behind you all the way.
So if you ask me, what's the ingredient of a successful tripartism? I would say enlightened leadership. We all work together for the good of the organization, and the organization is there for the good of the workforce.